If you're injured in a Delaware car accident, there are basically three areas where my office can help you. The first will deal with the damage to your car. The damage to your car will either be a total loss or it will be fixable. If it's a total loss, the adjuster will come up with a figure based on many different books, the Blue Book, the Gray Book, the Kelly Blue Book, NADA values, and they will come up with a fair market value. It's the retail value that's important. What's also important about that is, and this is where my office does get involved in, if an adjuster gives you a figure and we think it's low, then we will also then do our own research to figure out what we think the fair market value of that vehicle is. Many times we have sued insurance companies over fair market values of cars. Traditionally, insurance companies will give you a very low ball estimate for the fair market value of your car. We are able to go to court. We're able to then show a judge or an arbitrator that the value is much higher than what was offered. The other part of damage, car damage, is if it's fixable, then an insurance company will send out an appraiser, and very simply, he will give an appraisal of the damage to the car. He will give you that estimate. You take that estimate to a local dealership, and the car gets fixed. And it usually is that simple. Many times we don't have to get involved in that part of a damage claim, but sometimes there are issues with supplemental damage that's discovered later that we will help our clients with. The second part of this claim will be a claim for your lost wages and your medical expenses. If you were injured and you were employed at the time of that accident, then you are entitled to lost wages. In Delaware, that will equate to approximately 80% of your average weekly wage. What's important for my law firm's involvement is to make sure that disability notes are obtained. Doctors have been summoned to help with that determination as to whether or not you're to be out of work for either a day, a week, a month. Once we get that information, we will send that to the insurance company, and then we will make sure that we quantify that lost wage claim so that you do not go any long periods of time without some type of lost wage reimbursement. The other part of that claim is also one for medical expenses. If you have medical expenses, if you are treating, then we will make sure that we obtain the appropriate medical records and the appropriate medical bills. We will then send them to your own insurance company. Delaware has what is called a no-fault system. It's also referred to as PIP, or Personal Injury Protection. So regardless of whose fault the accident is, we will always go back to your own insurance company to make the claim for lost wages and medical expenses. The last part, part 3, is a claim for your pain and suffering or other compensatory damages. So if we make a determination that someone else is at fault in this accident, we will make a claim against that person's insurance company. That claim will consist of a claim for personal injury, for pain and suffering, for any type of loss of enjoyment of life. If there is scarring, disfigurement, we will make that claim as well. That claim will be made against the at-fault driver's insurance company. If you're involved in a Delaware accident and you have an ongoing lost wage claim with ongoing medical bill claim, in Delaware you have a 2-year statute of limitations. So you can treat for up to 2 years, and your insurance policy will pay for your lost wages and your medical expenses up to the policy limits. After that 2-year time period, or after your insurance policy exhausts for payment up to the policy limits, you will then begin to incur lost wages, and you will then begin to incur medical expenses. This is why it's very important to contact a Delaware lawyer who handles motor vehicle accidents so they can instruct you and inform you how best to proceed. If you are approached by an insurance company who represents or who insures the other side, the person's at fault, you should not take any offer or accept any offer at that time. You should contact a Delaware lawyer who handles auto accidents so that a proper determination can be made what the fair market value of your property damage is and what the value of your personal injury claim is. If you're partially at fault in a Delaware motor vehicle accident, the first thing that you should never do is admit fault. You should contact a Delaware lawyer to at least discuss the facts of your case. Many times recorded statements will occur or will be requested of you, and it's very important to have those facts bear out with some attorney before you make any determination or any statement as to whether or not you were at fault or partially at fault. If you're involved in a Delaware accident and you're a passenger and your friend was driving and your friend was at fault, then we're going to be using your friend's insurance company to pay for your pain and your suffering. You're not suing your friend, you're presenting a claim against your friend's insurance company, and that's very important to know that. If you're involved in a Delaware automobile accident and it appears that the person who is at fault has a very small or limited insurance policy, again, it's very important that you contact a Delaware lawyer who can then determine whether or not your own insurance company can get involved in this. Delaware has a law called underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. If the other side has a very small or a minimum policy, you may have a policy greater than those minimum limits. If you have ongoing wages, ongoing medical expenses, or if you have a pain and suffering claim above and beyond the minimum policy, your policy will kick in and your policy will then pay those benefits. If you have been involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident anywhere in Delaware, contact the Freibott Law Firm, 302-633-9000. Contact the Freibott Law Firm today, as I offer free consultations to those injured in Delaware. I also charge no fee or cost unless I recover for you.